The new FileMaker 11 charting feature is more complex than it may seem. We're going to cover the very basics as it applies to reporting and continue to cover it in later chapters and tutorials. In anticipation of adding a chart, we've moved over the logo and the button and this category field, and also made the tab control bigger because we're going to need another tab here. Because we first want to show you a basic chart. So we're going to go into layout mode, double click on the tab control, and create a tab called chart. And then we're going to draw a chart inside of here. So go get our chart tool, just click on it like you would the rectangle tool. You get the crosshairs, draw it as big as you can, and then you get this dialog. The first thing you want to do is decide what chart type you want. You've got bar, horizontal bar, line, area, and pie. But we're going to stick with the basic bar chart for right now. And then you have a title. Now this is actually a calculation area, and you can choose a field name if you want it to be dynamically specified, that chart title, or a calculation if you want it to be dynamically specified by a calculation, or we can simply type in our title in quotes, and that'll be static, and it'll be the same always. It's up to you. We're doing very basics here, and you can see also that we could have typed quote categories quote here also. Then we need to decide what our x-axis will be. In that case, we're going to choose a field name. We're going to choose a category field, and then we need to choose our vertical y-axis. For reporting, what you want to do is generally choose a summary field, and we have one. We're going to use our count field. There it is right there. Now when you put these charts inside of sub-summary reports, you want to use the current found set, and you want to check this option. So typically when you're doing a sub-summary chart, you're going to use a summary field, use data from the current found set, and check this option down here, show data points. Otherwise, you're not going to go and get grouped. This is like saying this is going to be in a sub-summary part. It's the best way I guess I can describe it. Now there are other options here. You have current record and related records. We're going to go over those at a later time. For reports, current found set will probably be your most likely choice. Now there are formatting options here. We're not going to go over them. There's chart appearance and legend and all this kind of great stuff. You know, you can explore this on your own. It's very easy. It's just how the chart appears. There's no real settings in here. This is where all of the logic goes on for that chart. So we'll click OK. We'll go into browse mode, and we'll look at it and we'll go, that doesn't look right. It's all jumbled up. Well, that's because this chart type that we chose is for reports. So if you want it to show in browse mode, what we're going to have to do is sort. So go to sort records, and we'll sort by that category field. And once you do that, you'll see that we get a count for the found set of how many commercial there are. And you can hold over to get that value, how many government, and how many nonprofit. You may not have exactly the same numbers I do because I've fiddled around with what groups people are, or what categories people are in. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is take this into a chart, because it really doesn't belong here, because if somebody does a find, they break the sort, and then all of a sudden the chart doesn't look right. So that's probably not a good idea to do that. So let's go ahead and copy that. We'll go over to our report by category, and we're going to go into our trailing grand summary, and we'll paste it right in here. There we go, right in there. That looks like it fits right within our page breaks here. Great. So we'll preview it, and we'll take a look at this and see what we've got. It's going to be all the way at the end that we'll see that. There we go. We'll see that we have our chart shows exactly the same way it did in browse mode because it's in a trailing grand summary. Now also notice that we've done one other thing that I did offline here, which is I added another sub-summary part. So let me reveal that. This is a sub-summary by category trailing. We had the leading, but I had the category trailing because I wanted to be able to add a page break after every one occurrence. That's so when you go to preview mode, you actually get the commercial, and then a page break in the government, and then a page break in the nonprofit. That just makes it really easy to see this report, especially when we're going to add in another chart here. So we're going to go into layout mode. What we're going to do is add a chart into our sub-summary by category leading. So I'll move this down. I'll paste again. And not quite enough room, so we'll make it even bigger. There we go. We're going to need a little bit of room here. There we go, fit it in there, and I'm going to make it a little bit taller because we're going to change this into a pie chart. And once we do that, what's going to happen is you're going to see that you won't be able to see the pieces as easily. You'll just have to see it here. So we're going to need to make it bigger. So we'll double click on it to get back into the definition, and we'll change it into a pie chart. And then we'll go into Format Charting Options, and we're going to go to Legend and turn it off for right now. You'll see how much more space you get when you turn that off. We're going to need that space, and we may even need to make this bigger too. Now, this is not going to really work that well. If we go into preview mode and look at it by category, it's not going to work very well here because it's just going to give us one big giant pie. What we need to do is change this further. We're going to go in here and double click on it and change this to state. And this is one of the neat things you can do. I got to spell that right. This is one of the neat things you can do with a chart inside a sub-summary report. I can say within this category, tell me where the people are, what states they're in. So I like that a lot. In order for that to show correctly, though, we're also going to have to sort. So you see it doesn't look very good right now, and it's really not giving us a true graph. It's just like a visual art here or something like that, modern art. What we need to do is change our sort. So we'll come in here and we'll change it to sort also by state. And as soon as we do that, you'll see that our chart completely changes at this point. Now it's all of the people in this commercial section by state. And we go to the next one, we'll see that that's the case here. These are all the people in the government category by state. And then all the nonprofits by state. So it's pretty cool. It looks like we got an even number here, probably one from each state is what we got here. So you can see how you can really use these reports with the charting to do some really cool stuff and to get different kinds of values. So remember, you can put a chart inside of a sub-summary part and then sort by something else, categorize it by something else. In this case, we have a sub-summary report by category, but then we're going ahead and charting by state. So play around with this. I think you'll find out it's very powerful, the things you can do with it.